Welcome, Assad, Arnold, Dylan. Slowly but surely, everyone is tuning in. Well, boring day so far. Let's wait for some more. Oh, I see a lot of people. Wes, welcome. Kijos. Audio is good. Thanks for letting me know. Welcome, HDOTP and Mel. Mm, Okay, let's start with Bitcoin. First, quick insight into what I expect now. Then a quick recap of the short yesterday and the long I took this morning. But overall, we made a slide like from the new range I'm watching, where this is our main high right now. We front ran that low on the Bybit chart, but on BTC and on Coinbase we took out the high. So there's quite a big like difference between some exchanges. So that is something to take into account. And then locally we still have like our main bias, or like main structure remains bullish, because as expected, we had that fake break right here. I just see this as the higher low for the higher high. So technically we can pull all the way back till here to still print that higher low for potentially the higher high. For now, I'm still leaning towards overall higher prices. I think we have good chances to eventually make like a bigger sweep of that range high. But locally, we had quite a lot of positive delta near the highs. And I will dive into the order flow in a minute to see if how those positions are behaving. Because we know, like, if a lot of positions, like yesterday, a lot of longs entered, which you can also see on those green vector candles, basically shows that there's a lot of buying without price going higher. So someone is absorbing that buying. So we can have a watch how those positions are behaving right now. Because if price goes below their entry, which it is right now, you have the risk that they will close out and then cause a cascade, and then you can go much lower. So far, we had that move down and are now like going sideways. So overall, this does not look too bad. And I expect us to see some more sideways price action. So could be, yeah, it's also Wednesday, often can be a pretty slow day. And like locally, I'm watching this range with this as the starting point, range low, range high, tap 2. And we are also between the anchored VWAPs. So if we pull the anchored VWAP from the start of the uptrend early this week, then we see that it is aligning here with the demand, which was front run this morning. So tapping into that is still a POI for me for potential 1, 2, 3. And if we take the anchored VWAP from the high, then we have it above. So potentially moving into here, deviating it, can be like a 2-tap setup. Also in this imbalance. So locally, long POI, short POI, in between. Yeah, not really interested in trading it. I think we just go sideways. Welcome, by the way, also the court, Zlatan, of course, Lise, connected with them here, and that counts. Indeed. And Bran, good to see you as well, brother. So yeah, I just have an alert here near the lows and one above this high. Beside that, I just think we will range here. So this is a low probability trade environment. So yeah, just waiting for some cleaner price action. Then I want to explain the short from yesterday. Let's do that on a clean chart without ruining this one. For that, I always use the shit exchange Maxi. Oh, ETC USDT.perp. Because just yesterday during the stream, remove the drawing, I was where we had this push higher, where this was basically our range demand. So with first this range, then that aggressive push higher, but with like a lot of spot, where we already said like wouldn't surprise me at all if that is Sailor, that is buying like crazy. I still think that was Sailor. And then we knew that locally inside that range we had that demand zone where all that spot started buying, from where basically the uptrend started. So let's go back to right here. We had that push higher without any structure, so getting a short there. Yeah, I already said you can take a bet to short it, but it's super dangerous because more than likely you can also just squeeze higher. So I said more interested in looking for that mitigation of this demand, then potentially get that 4-hour 50% wick fill, because we had a big wick created right here, and to see that retrace into that local supply. And yeah, it's pretty crazy how it exactly played out, because we came back for that refined demand, there we bounced from, and there we had this 10-minute supply block was left behind with more refined supply as well, I believe. Yeah, so this was the refined supply. And if you pulled your fib from high to low, so from that high to this swing low, then your fib levels align perfectly with your supply. And that is something I really, really like as Confluence, is if your fib levels align with a clean POI. Here you have that last buy candle before that aggressive sell-off, creating that supply. Directly in confluence with the 50% wick fill from that 4-hour candle and the fib levels. So here I was looking for weakness into that level. And then I saw that spike higher, which was also right here with green candles buying again. So they know likely people are like getting into long positions. Then we broke structure locally back to bearish right here. And there I took the short right here, invalidation above that high. Because above that high, it was very likely that we would sweep the high. So very little room for error. and target was TP1 was there, and the full TP was the range low from that range we were in earlier, around 74k, right there, and that was the full setup, which yeah, if you watch this on the low time frame, then it can make you crazy. But overall, you just see low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So market structure respected very well, and then target hit right there. So 5R, super clean trade. And this is like one of the setups, but you have like so many setups where, in my opinion, you limit yourself if you only watch for the extreme high probability Wyckoff models. And then eventually this played out till where we are right now. Let's see what we're doing. Okay. And then the long from this morning. What are we locally doing? Just watching locally because it looks like an accumulation at the lows here. 1, 2, 3. Model 2. Demand right here. Get a backtest, I might look for longs. Let's see. Like a local model 2 accumulation at the lows. Potential strong hour to put in a low. Might be interested in long, something like this. Well, let's see. And the long this morning, where I said we have, then it was like 1. Here we shot the former low, and then we took the low again here. But on the very low time frame, it was the clean POI I was watching, because this was the anchored VWAP from the lows. So tapping into such an VWAP can always be a level you want to see how price reacts around it. We also had the single prints below it, shared on the order flow. We had aggressive selling, so also like quite a lot of negative delta into that low. And then you can always watch, if you have aggressive delta, that means that a lot of selling occurs into that level. But since this was a POI, you can watch how price behaves into it. And we know, like on the low time frame, absorption, you can watch the heat maps. I'll show you here. Is it accurate? Like here. Here you also see like the perfect tap of the anchored VWAP. These were the single prints. Those are perfectly filled. And we saw here perps going down and negative delta. So a lot of selling into those lows. And it was at a super clean POI. So then you can watch what is price doing. What I directly saw was like the 1, 2, 3. And this pattern, like last week's, we at every local bottom and top, we have traded this and it has been giving crazy trades. And here again, 1, 2, 3, model 1, absorption into a high probability POI. So there I took the long after the absorption, had my stop a little bit below that low, because you have a local 3 drive, so price has no reason to go below it again, besides mitigating this demand. But often it will not be the first time that it front runs that level. And then I took out most around 3R here, or I took everything out at 3R, and I had my exact TP at, my former TP at 74k, which was exactly here. So I just was at the gym, and then I saw it directly, like perfectly tapping my original TP, and then selling off again. But yeah, this would have been like 5.5R. That was already out here around 3R. And right now, yeah, locally looked pretty good. This demand I'm still interested in. What I would have liked more is if this swept this low. Then it was like a 1, 2, 3. But it just not give it. But still locally it gave, it looked like a local good bottom with local model 2. So I have an alert. I might be interested in longs if we tap into this demand. But first for that I want to look at the order flow that we are doing. Open interest is pretty dead. Perps buying, nah, it's not interested. No, I think we will chop around more. It doesn't look very. We don't have crazy delta, which I like to trade around. We also have not any like crazy new positioning or crazy spot buying or perps or anything. We are also not at like a significant high or significant low or around single prints or something. So I think this just chops around. So I'm not interested in that long. I think price is likely to probably compress more between these anchored VWAPs. So just waiting for them to be hit. Let me look at the chat. Why is that a shit exchange? I think you talk about Maxi, but Maxi it's a scam exchange. They make money on scam listings, and people, if you're profitable, they will. You cannot withdraw your money, and it's just shady as fuck. It's super shady. I would not trust them. I've countless of stories of people and people with a lot of money that got wrecked by it. So be careful with them. Yeah, so for BTC, I'm not interested in trading it right now. We can have actually a look at, I had a call earlier today where I explained the higher time frame expectation, which I also shared in the group. And there I identified like BTC, it's super predictable if you know what to look at. But here we made it the all-time high with the Wyckoff model 1, so 1, 2, 3. This was a distribution range. From there we broke down. So range, this was basically the initiation, mitigation, continuation. Then high time frame structure was broken back to bearish. So then every range you form is more likely to be a distribution range instead of an accumulation. So what we did here was make low, and then we 1, 2, 3 sweeps, go down, 4 sweeps, go down, breakout. Everyone thought this is the bullish breakout, only for it to be like a extra manipulation in the form of a bearish PO3, basically this. And right now we are doing almost exactly the opposite, the similar with sweep 1, sweep 2, sweep 3. Basically what we had here, 1, 2, 3, but only more distance between them. Then here we swept it again with a minor sweep. Maybe now we go a bit down, form that higher low, get the aka breakout, where everyone becomes extremely bullish. Breakout longs, alts likely send higher, only for price to get back in the range and then accelerate back to the lows. Because I still, this is not how you form a bottom, especially if it's so stretched out and you have so many sell-side liquidity created. You cannot bottom like that. So I still think we will eventually at least take out 65 and 62, most likely also the ultimate low. But for the high time frame, I think this is just the more stretched out version of what we did here. So based on that, I would not be surprised if we, in the next week or two, continue like the overall bullish trend with the high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, maybe higher low, or already pushes, then goes for that breakout. And this is where everyone becomes super bullish, and that's where I'm super interested in swing shorts. Because getting a swing short from there can be super, super rewarding. And if you combine that with market structure, because we can identify what is our structure, then on the daily is basically on the structure you have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So this is our daily bearish structure. The main structure, they can also look internally from this high. Then we have basically low, lower high, lower low. So then this is your bearish daily structure. On a 12-hour, which is a significant one as well, we can start at the daily and then we can go one lower. We have lower low, lower high, lower low. So the daily, the 12-hour bearish structure is this one. Let me type it. So high time frame structure remains bearish until proven otherwise. Daily bearish structure. This is our 12-hour bearish structure. And you can go one lower, for example, 4-hour, but it does not change too much because on the 4-hour you have here low, lower high, lower low. So this is the 4-hour bearish structure. So even 4-hour main structure remains bearish. We only have local bullish structure to the upside, but the main one is still down there. And if we look at the confluences, like 4-hour remains bearish, 12-hour is above. If we look at the range deviation threshold, so as long as price stays below this red line, around 80k, this move above, as long as it stays below 80k on the higher time frame, can still be seen as a deviation of your range. Market often likes to go to the extreme levels to manipulate as many people as possible. And where is that in this current range? 12-hour swing high right here, deviation threshold right here, 4-hour right here. So if I was a market maker and wanted to go for max manipulation, I would go to those extreme levels, let everyone think the bottom is in, manipulate them one more time with this bearish PO3, then go to the lows, and from there start the bottom formation. And if we zoom out to the daily, like last major range before we started the uptrend into all-time highs was around 240 days. The current range is 66 days. So if we count it to 240 days, you come around October 7th, which is a year after we topped the October 10th crash. Then if you look at it from the perspective here, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, does this look enough to give like a healthy uptrend? No. Price needs time. So in my opinion, this is still the most likely. Manipulate, go back to the low, sweep that low, and start from here, the high time frame bottoming range. And from there, price might be giving a similar move as here, with sweeping your lows over again, and then have like kind of a 1, 2, 3 model 1 into model 2, which is enough to eventually send us into new all-time highs. And then it looks healthy again. Right now, even if it goes here, then eventually we go there. Just watching this, that's not how a good bottom forms. So that was just my high time frame view. And you also know a bit more what my main trading ideas are. And I'm mostly like just mostly scalper or like intraday trader. But if I can get the screen trade there, I will also definitely take it. Let's see. This time is different. Yeah. Every time, this time is different. And eventually it's never different. It's always the same. Okay, let's have a quick look at each. I'm interested in longs in the single prints below. Right now, potentially creating the second tap of this local range. But also here not interested in trading it. Interested in shorts in this supply and longs down here. Else not interested. Tao. Potentially how I look at it is potentially creating here a bullish PO3, where this is the range. This is the manipulation below. If we accept back in the range, get the bullish expansion. And a sign why that could even make more sense is because at the exact low and at the deviation threshold, so you do not want to fall below your deviation threshold, but price wick below it and then step back, but it did so by creating a 1, 2, 3 absorption at the extreme. So I'm interested in potential longs, but we just front ran this demand. Now we have more refined demand down here. We tapped into this supply. Looks like a local 1, 2, 3 local redistribution. So what I would love to see is to see that local distribution play out. Price come back into here. Then either flip structure back to bullish after tapping into this demand, or start taking out this new low, where this is the new range. That can also be the play. That if you then start accumulating at the lows, that will be the cleanest. So let me actually, this is the first POI, this demand, which will be like 1, 2, 3. Then locally price back to bullish. So then it's just higher low, higher high. Or this is the new range starting point. And this is also like local distribution. And if we then start taking out the lows, tap 2, go back up, tap 3, then you have like the dream scenario to form a bottom in your PO3. So Tau is getting interesting to me. Just need some more development. So please alert me if we start taking out this low, because then I want to pay attention. And my alerts are, I don't know what they have again. It seemed like they work for a few days, but I don't get any of them. But yeah, for that, I think Tau can, the moment we flip back above this level, then I think it's a direct shot back to the highs. So this is all liquidity. So I'm super interested in like longs from around here. Then maybe even start the position building with the stop loss at the deviation threshold of this new local range. And then target the highs, something like this. This is where I'm super interested in. So definitely gonna keep an eye on the Tau. BTC, nothing changed. ETH, nothing changed. These can go away. USDT tapped into that supply. Yeah, what I said this morning, I think this is the start of a potential new range. So this is like we broke back to bullish right here. But now we like locally break back to bearish here probably also. But I think this is just the starting point of a new range like this. We did not tap the mid-range yet. Oh, so you cannot call it a valid range yet. But I think this will turn into the new range. And then this is actually, it would not surprise me if this is the range low, range high, and this is the new range we have to work with. If we zoom out, that looks most healthy to me as well. Because right now it's too vertical. So come back down right here and then either distribute, look for shorts, or accumulate towards that major range low and then go higher. Till then, it's not super clear. Yeah, BTC go down again, just ranging. Gold is potential model 1 distribution. Oh, let me look at the chat, by the way. Tomorrow is a Tau Discord event. Ooh. Oh, that's even more interesting. Yeah, they will clarify their changes or something, right? Or what they have done about the FAT, and I don't know what all. Yeah, that makes it then I'm even more interested in longs. Like this looks like super clean PO3 in the making. And the event, like I think if you see price action, if you pump into an event, then it's bearish. But right now, price is still around the lows. And I don't know what they can announce that would make price dump further. I think such an announcement can only be good. Because, yeah, what will they say that makes the price dump even further? So insiders already know that. We know how manipulated this market is. So what if they are building positions here for the bullish period 3, announce something tomorrow, push back in the range, reverse back up. Take all this liquidity. Yeah, I think this can be a super clean play for us, especially with the timing of the that event or whatever it is tomorrow. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this one. DT mitigated 1 hour supply. Yeah, tapped into it. But yeah, overall, I think this is like what we see a lot with Bitcoin is that after the aggressive push up like this, we go in that boring sideways range where you either distribute or accumulate and then push lower. But then you do not want to position yourself right here, because then you're watching dry paint for a long time. So I'm not interested in BTC, also because I'm up pretty good for this week. So I'm only gonna take clean trades, but I can already chill basically. Yeah, let's go to gold. We have that one potential model 1. But we should not forget that the high time frame still is super bullish, and we have some supply and big imbalances above. So I'm not too eager yet to get into shorts. Also, if we look at like the super trend, it's bullish until proven otherwise. We perfectly tapped into like the 1 hour trend, but and if we have, which structure did we broke? Like hourly structure, it's not valid hourly structure. 45. Yeah, 45 broke to bearish right here. But all the others are still bullish, and price wicked into, it actually took this low into this little FEG, which is basically also demand if you extend it right there. So this can just be a demand mitigation before higher. So the only real level of interest I have for the BTC short, I see this as a mitigation, is to go, let's find the POI. Do we have a big wick? Yeah, so we have a pretty big wick. So we can look for the 50% wick fill. The lick wick. It's the one above. Do we have supply? $45, not 30, also not. We have here 50-minute supply overlapping with the fib levels. So this is where I'm getting interested in potential the model 1 that can then flow over here in model 2. And above we have that 50% wick fill. Can look more locally if we have more. 5. Yeah, not much beside that. And yeah, like extreme liquidity is this first lower high. So it's around here. But that's a level where I'm only interested in a potential short. Basically the same as yesterday with BTC. If you come into here and then break local structure, then your room for error is super small. So then taking a trade can be worth it. Right now, I think price can also just continue the overall trend. Also because I do not 100% trust this as the tap 1. What can also be the range is that, let's see. Like this was the start of the range, tap 1, deviation, tap 2, local model 2 to the target. So then we can extend the range. This is the range to watch. And that this is then tap 2. So then a model 1 could also still be in play. So then you have this, can also be a model 1, and then reject. But both have my interest. So either model 1, like this, or yeah, tapping into that supply and VIP and the wick fill level above for model 2. So yeah, keeping an eye on that. Let's see how is it on the high time frame. Yeah, it's still, yeah, that's the plan for gold. For the rest, US oil. Yeah, still not really interested. Can be if we start pushing higher here. Then maybe look for like a model 2. 1, 2, 3. Or then for a model 1. Can also be if you come back closer and then take that low. Beside that, yeah, does not look super interested for trading. And here the S&P is almost back at the all-time high. Crazy. That can reach all-time high today or tomorrow. I remember how we what was the bottom? The SFP. Silver. Yeah, same. At mid-range, sell side liquidity below, buy side liquidity above. Most interested in gold then from the commodities. And yeah, for the others, it looks like today's more of a boring session. So let me know if there are any questions. I think there's times to go heavy and be more aggressive, and times to be more calm. And I think now it's time to be more calm. So, like all leverage is out of Tau, so that's a good thing. Oh. Some buying at the lows. Imbalance. So, yeah, most interesting buy in Tau for longs. Let's eat. The eat has the big bullish single prints below it. That's why I would like to see a sweep into here. For the rest, yeah, just a local range, nothing to do for me. Maybe low time frame. Price did bounce from low, yeah, nothing interesting. I think we stay within here and then get like compression from the VWAPs and then get like a move. Did you also trade stocks? No, but yeah, I believe they trade pretty similar to the others. So, but I like to focus on my. I'm a bit autistic with my watch list. I'll go study more today while we wait for the market. Yeah, good to do as always. Do you mostly trade Wyckoff models? Yeah, depends what you call a Wyckoff model. I trade very bad Wyckoff models, but they do work. and I also trade just supply and demand and market structure. It's probably different from what you assume is Wyckoff, but I trade the models a bit differently than most people do. Ooh, and hype is on. Oh, yeah, we totally forgot hype. It made new highs. I think. Yeah, so if we zoom out, hype took the range high. So this is potential the tab 2 or the deviation. So let's put that on the chart right there. And then early in the week, we topped with this model 2, creating that supply. And right now we tapped into that supply while sweeping the local range. So this is a POI to look for shorts. Also fib levels. This is the local structure low. This is the more refined supply. With the most refined supply being the tab 2 of the distribution model. Yeah, it's not particularly looking showing weakness. So if it's doing hype stuff, then it could just shoot higher. We have some demand protecting the low. We put an alert there and here. Yeah, I think it looks just super strong. I don't like this range too much. What can also be the case is that this high of that model 2 is the new range to watch. I think that is more likely. And we can still watch the extreme supply. But I think this is more likely because this is also in time duration, not how you top. A better local distribution or topping pattern would be to distribute like this if we are about to distribute at least. So I think this is a better way to look at it. Sweeping the highs and then look for shorts. Locally, this is also just again pretty strong. This is likely just pushing higher. Yeah, I think this is the new view for hype. Yeah, so then we are updated. DD is next level. Thank you, thank you. So thanks everyone. I think it's clear. If you see anything interesting or have any questions, ask them in the Discord as always. And I will also share it if I see anything interesting. But for now, I think more ranging. And then tomorrow, Friday, approaching the weekend again. So Trump might give his throw his cards on the table again. So it can get interesting. Thanks everyone, and see you guys in the Discord.